Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and have the balloonist here take us to Dry Canyon, because it is ever so slightly faster than Clifftown. Like I said, if you get either, take either one, but ideally, we want Dry Canyon. And once the balloonist drops us off here, we're straight in the level, and we didn't have to do any of the home road movement to get over to Dry Canyon. Perfect. And this level's quite simple. Like I said, there are some advanced strategies I won't be going over, and this level does have one of them. But when we aren't doing that, this level is real simple. We're just going to charge jump right at the beginning, head straight in front of us, go to our right, charge jump over this little goop pool. And once we go over here, what we can actually do is we can charging jump around the right side here and jump charge over to the second stair. Kind of like in Dark Hollow, right? We can kind of skip having to climb these stairs one by one like this. We can instead take a tight line here and jump charge with a full hop over to this second stair. And once you do that, you can climb the rest of the stairs like normal, doing quick jump charges and letting go of square as quickly as you can. Jump, charge, jump, charge, jump, charge, jump, charge, jump, charge. And once you're up here, it's just a matter of running to the end of the level. You can cut a little corner here, turn right, and we're right at the end. Alrighty, I'll show you one more time from flying. Do a little charging jump at the beginning. Head straight in front of us, deviate towards our right, charge jump over this goop, charging jump glide over this goop, big jump charge and climb the stairs. Cut this corner here, and do a full hop into the vortex. Just like so. That's Dry Canyon. Alrighty, so depending on what level you got first is gonna change how you do this home road. If you get Dry Canyon first, you're gonna wanna leave there and go straight over to Clifftown. But if instead you got Clifftown first and you're leaving there, well, you still have to do Dry Canyon, right? So you're gonna wanna actually instead head over to Dry Canyon from Clifftown if you got that level first. So really try to keep in mind what option Tuco gave you, so that way you don't forget to do one of the levels. That's very common, and I definitely have done that tons of times. So just remember what Tuco gave you. So from this case, we got Dry Canyon first. So we're gonna head over from here, straight into Clifftown. Easy peasy. Alrighty, so Clifftown is a pretty easy level as well. We're gonna run straight in front of us, go over this bridge. And as we approach here, we actually can skip this first little ledge here by doing what we call clown jump, where you do a big full hop and charge onto this ledge here. But this one is quite a bit difficult, so if you struggle with it, no big deal. Just give it a few tries and see how it feels to you. But if you're not feeling it, you can just climb over to this first step here instead. Flame past this mama and this mama. Climb up these stairs. Climb up these stairs. And you actually can take these stairs 2 steps at a time, right? Instead of doing little jump charges up each one like this, you can actually take them 2 steps at a time like this, which is quite a bit faster. And we're just climbing up straight into the vortex. Super straightforward level. Do it one more time from flying. Charging jump at the beginning. Over this bridge. Over this bridge. We're gonna do the first step here. Flame this mama, charging jump. Flame this mama. Past this mama. 2 stairs at a time right here. Big full hop charges. And full hop into the vortex. Just like so. Alrighty, the movement into Shemp is quite simple as well. If you are leaving Clifftown, you're gonna just leave from Clifftown straight into Shemp. But if you're doing Dry Canyon second, right? If Tuco gave you Clifftown, and then you had to go into Dry Canyon second, you'd be leaving Dry Canyon and going to Shemp. And what you're gonna wanna do in that case is actually go to the right, and you're gonna notice this little sliver in between the wall and this little pillar, I guess you could call it here. And you're actually gonna wanna jump charge through it, just like that. So that's what you wanna do if you get Dry Canyon first. But if you get Clifftown first, we're just swiveling out and heading straight to Shemp. Either way, it really is just taking a straight line straight into Shemp as quickly as you can. Pretty simple. Alrighty, and welcome to Dr. Shemp. This is arguably going to be one of the harder levels in the category when you're first learning, but with some practice, you can get it down. Let me show you how it works. I'm going to do it quickly here first. I'm going to go over to this pillar, leave the pillar with this guy so we can get into the corner as we roll with him, frame perfectly, hit the X button like so, and it sends us way up in the air towards the vortex, just like that. So how does that work? Well, as you can see, this mama's standing right next to this little Shemplet guy. And if we get close enough, she's gonna smack him towards us like that. But if we go up to this pillar, you'll see she also smacks him. But he kind of gets stuck on the pillar for a bit, and then eventually he falls off and dies, right? We're gonna use this to our advantage, because if we leave the pillar at the right time he hits it, he actually starts running towards the corner with us, and if we roll, we can get stuck right inside of him like this. One thing to keep in mind is if when he gets to the pillar, you start going towards the corner late like that, he's still just gonna fall off and die like that, right? So you wanna leave the pillar at just the right time. And you also can leave the pillar too early. If you leave it too early like this, he's gonna run off the side and not get into the corner. He kind of ran off and did his own little thing, right? So there is a nice visual cue for when to leave the pillar. Firstly, when I get to the pillar, I use this little line in the middle to dictate where I'm gonna stand. But secondly, when he gets smacked towards us, you'll see at some point, his little mask peeks through right there, right? I'm gonna pause the frame here and you can see his mask starts to peek through the pillar. That's the visual cue I use to leave the pillar. So once I'm standing in this center line and I see the mask, boom, I leave and I start rolling into the corner just like that. And one thing to keep in mind about this roll is I personally roll 4 times. Some people like to roll 3. But you want to angle yourself just well enough that when you turn Spyro, he's going into the corner like this. Sometimes I'll see people kind of be flat up against the wall, kind of like this, and then they get pushed out like that. So you don't want to be flat up against the wall. You want to leave the pillar, turn towards the corner so he's rolling into the corner like so. And now this is definitely the harder part of the trick, is the frame perfect X input. Again, if you press it on the right frame like so, you get sent up in the air like this towards the vortex. But if you jump early, like that, you just jump out of the corner and you don't get hit at all, right? If you jump late, however, do a late X input, you don't get sent up at all, right? So if you're pressing X late, you don't get sent anywhere. You can also press X 1 frame early, like so. And if you press X 1 frame early, you get sent up barely up in the air like that. So try to use those little diagnostic tools to determine, am I usually late, am I usually early, and try to hone down that center to find the exact right time for the X input. For a visual cue, usually what I use is I wait for his knife to pull out right there. And then I wait a little bit of time after that to hit the X button. If you try to press X right when he pulls out the knife, you're gonna be early like that, right? But if you wait just a little bit later like that, that's the perfect frame. And then once you do get the correct frame, you'll notice sometimes you're a little under the scenery here. You can just kind of glide through it, but you'll notice if you go towards the vortex, kind of sends you off to the left, which isn't a huge deal. You can kind of just glide. But we can use this to our advantage. This is called a scenery proxy. So if we aim Spyro a bit to the right, like so, you'll notice that it actually pushes him into the vortex for us. So we want to use that to our advantage. Aim a bit right of the vortex once you get the right frame, and it'll push Spyro right into the vortex for us like that. And that's jump skip. Don't feel too bad if you struggle with this at first. It is a really hard trick, and even good runners struggle with it. I still mess it up a good amount, but put in some practice, and I promise, you'll get better at it. So one thing I do want to mention is if you're late like so, you actually can try the trick again like that. And that was 1 frame early on the second attempt. But depending on how many sparks you have when you do it late, you can try it up to 2 more times. And there it is right there on the backup. The backup timing is a bit harder to get a feel for because he starts to swing his knife and it looks a little bit different. But I would definitely recommend messing around with trying to do the backup when you're late like so, because it can definitely save some runs when you normally miss it the first time. Alrighty, so leaving Shemp is quite simple. We're gonna hold right and swivel out and charging jump glide buffer over this little goop here. So swivel out, charging jump glide buffer over this, and we're gonna fall down into the Ice Cavern. And Ice Cavern is a very, very straightforward level. As we fly in, we're gonna charge over to our right and jump charge up to where this little blue spring chest is. And all we're gonna do is charging jump glide over towards this little building here. Flame this guy. Flame this guy. And there's the vortex right there. Very simple. So I'll show it one time from flying real quick. Charge a bit to the right. Jump charge. Charging jump glide. Charge down to the entrance of this building. Flame that guy. Flame that guy. Straight into the vortex. Super simple level. Alrighty. Leaving Ice Cavern is also pretty simple. We're gonna charge out of the portal. Climb up the hill. And once we're a little bit under the ledge here, we can just jump charge over to our right, over to the balloonist here. So I'll show you in full motion. Climb up the hill. Jump charge to our right. Straight to Gosnod. And that's been Peacekeepers.